The now is more than the ocean, because the now is also the sky and the soil and the earth and the space, where everything happens, everything flows in, everything flows out, everything appears and disappears, arises and ceases, where new beings are born and those who already depart. The whole universe is happening in the now. From the three-dimensional point of view, we may say goodbye to someone departing, but they arrive to some new place. It's still happening in the now, in the ground of all happenings. Everything has ever happened in this consciousness of now. Even your search for yourself is happening now. And when you will find yourself, that will still be now. And this now is not a future goal. It's right here. The search is what takes you onto a journey. Looking for happiness, love, peace, and so forth. With the law of resonance, that which you seek for, you already are resonating with it. It is seeking you. All the goals that you are seeking for, these goals are seeking for you. So as soon as you place your attention onto something, you're already connected to that in a certain degree. Of course, you might say, I want bigger happiness. So stop looking in a smaller way. And if you look at the mirror and you want to find yourself, the best way is to touch yourself. Because when you look in the mirror, you look at the reflection of yourself. When you touch yourself, you realize you're already here. So the same way the attention and focus mechanism is always looking at the mirror of happiness, at the mirror of love, at the mirror of peace. But the real love, the real peace, the real happiness, the real thing is right here, and you can touch it the same way you can touch yourself, instead of trying to touch that image in the mirror. That is a reflection. So this reflection, this it's called illusion, but maybe more like a reflection of reality, is created by the mirroring of the attention and focus. If you sense into your third eye, the place of your focus, where usually it is abiding, if you place your attention to your third eye, imagine that there are mirrors and they continuously reflect the reality isness as a reflection to your as your mental images. So your third eye as part of a distortion, it's like a mirror reflecting out of searching reflections, searching for reflections, looking at the mirrors of happiness and love and peace. And since the third eye is projecting and looking at the mirrors, then the mind starts to believe in those mirrors. That if I do go out and buy a new clothes or any kind of possessions and go travel or meet someone or meet the one, that's gonna be the ultimate love and happiness and peace and bliss. These are the mirrors. Hopefully when you meet the one, he or she will tell you, you already have it. You found yourself, and I only helped you to see yourself. It's the best thing that your one can tell you. And then you have your, soulmates, those who are on the journey together. Let's go together to find the one. Let's travel together to find ourselves. That's a soulmate relationship. And a twin flame relationship says, is that you? Is that me? Is that you? Is that me? Mirroring the opposites. And looking at another, you see you. Looking at yourself, you see another, and you constantly mirror to each other, which you actually are, the one. So this is all the games of the perceptions of the third eye, of attention and focus. The third eye is entangled very much with these perceptions, constantly looking, searching, seeking, finding, projecting. So it is important for you to recognize these mechanisms of projection, the mechanism of looking for. This looking for takes you out of the now. Searching for takes you out of the now. it also happens in the now, in the ultimate truth. But on a relative scale, looking for, searching for, takes you out of now. There is another problem that people either don't know what they're looking for. Some people have a certain idea, maybe, what they're looking for. And some people definitely know what they're looking for. However, in all three cases, not knowing what you're looking for, having some ideas, or definitely knowing what you're looking for, it is still looking for. However, on a relative note, it is important to know what will truly fulfill you. And that is called the maturity of looking. You know, like being a pro traveler. You already know many pathways that you shouldn't go. You have a GPS, you have all the gears. You're a fully equipped traveler. You know what you're looking for. You know how to avoid the pitfalls. You know how to, do all emergency things, and how to be comfortable and safe, and and experienced on this journey. So these are called the pro searchers, the seekers, the professional seekers. So my message today is to become a professional finder. It is important though to know what you're looking for, because otherwise, you will still think that some new material possession will give you the ultimate, or traveling, or getting a new job, or doing this or that, that's what's gonna bring you happiness. Then of course, when you get that, you will find that no, that's not the real thing. So therefore, it is important to have a clear goal, clear vision, clear desire. And the best desire is for freedom, for liberation, for enlightenment, for becoming you. And even this, even these words, freedom, liberation, enlightenment, that's where there can be some also pitfalls. Because the way that your mind works, it creates even enlightenment as an illusionary goal. That enlightenment means sitting blissed out and either doing nothing, or teaching the masses, or one way or another. That's something that you saw on YouTube most likely. So that becomes the goal that you seek for. It becomes a certain mental image, or being very intelligent, or Maybe you heard the teacher saying that they can see into another dimension, and oh, that's a superpower, that's what it's supposed to be about. Suddenly you'll become a superhero, the Superman or Supergirl, and you'll have lasers in your eyes and suddenly start levitating, lifting your bum from the chair with the forces of nature in your control. Yeah, that's in the movies, yes. That's the Marvel Studios. Yes. Enlightenment or self-realization is realizing who you are. Realizing who you are. And some people have even denials. No, that's not who I am. No, I can't be that. No, because it's supposed to be ultimate peace. It's supposed to be, one teacher said it's ultimate happiness, and the other teacher said ultimate peace. And then you see another guy saying nothing. And then you see another, teacher saying everything. And it's supposed to be like that. No, it's supposed to be like you. It's supposed to be like real you. And then you get disappointed. Like, that you can't find what you're looking for. Or you get disappointed that it doesn't work out this way or that way. Or maybe start realizing that what one teacher said does not apply to you. Maybe it's not about only ultimate peace, or this way or that way. It's about the ultimately you. And your disappointments are part of the seeking journey, to get disappointed from not finding the imaginary desires. And that's the tough part. It's called disillusionment. Not finding your illusions, not finding reality of illusions, reflections. So on this journey to find yourself and the truth, you start finding what was not real and what was illusion, reflection. And then you start realizing, if you're a social person, that ultimate peace is not your thing. Or if you're a very calm person, that ultimate communication skills and social happiness is also not your thing. Because it's about you. It's about becoming totally you. I remember when I was in a high school, and before going to university, the teacher asked us to write down what we want to achieve in the real life. Because we were finishing education, the high school or college, depending on the country. And then we were, the next journey was university and real life. So she asked us to write, how do we see ourselves in the future? And in my note I wrote, I want to be normal. Because I saw and I also wrote, I want to be normal and live a normal life. Because the reason why, it was a double truth. At that time, with my teenage, early adult mind, what was in my mind, that I was seeing so much illusion in the country. That there is poverty, there is unnecessary suffering. The whole politics is just a game. Religions don't speak the truth. And I just wrote down, I just want to be normal and live a normal life. So that was what was in my mind at that time. And later on, coming back to 1000, I realized that was a good thing I wrote. Because only now it truly became normal. So this new normal is also a very large disillusionment. And this is a difficult part of the journey. There is the exciting part that you will attain that which you truly are. But the difficult part is there is a big disillusionment process to go through. And that happens because of the mechanism of attention and focus. Because you got imprinted ideas. You saw some ads, the girls must be beautiful, the guys must be rich. That's the media. Yeah. That's the sold happiness these days. This is what is being sold. And of course, being young kids, teenagers, fashion trends. I remember I was even I joined a friend to be a rapper for 3 days. Very quickly I realized I'm not a rapper. That's not my thing. But at that time it was a cool thing to do. So that was a very quick disillusionment. I was sold to it as a teenage, and then suddenly, oh no, that's not my thing. But that's how it works. That's how the media works. You get these mental imprints that that's gonna be the thing. That's how you are supposed to be, or that's how somebody told you that you are supposed to be. Or maybe somebody told you that you're not good enough, and then the negative conditioning could also come from parents, relatives, friends, the negative conditioning. So there's a positive conditioning, the beauty, the success, the fashion, the trends, the sort of positive conditioning. And then there's a negative conditioning. And what's in the middle? That's you. But the you is the one which is unconditioned. You have to take out those conditions, those things that you're seeking for. And there's a very good sentence, there is a very good quote, that if you're struggling to attain something, if you're struggling and you're not succeeding at it, it means that it's not for you. If you're struggling and not succeeding, of course, goals, are never easy. You have to put effort, I need to be clear, to achieve something, you have to put effort and be very dedicated. But if you're hitting your head in the wall all the time and not succeeding, well, maybe it's not for you. Maybe that's not you. And then you will say, well, I find it very naturally easy that I love plants and nature. Well, maybe you are supposed to be a gardener than a CEO, stressed out. That's one idea. Maybe you were sold that, that being a CEO will be the ultimate happiness. But you always find peace in the nature and, just doing the earthy things. Or maybe you like something doing it with your hands. Or maybe you are always afraid to paint. because you knew that if you pick up that brush, that something is gonna change. Or maybe you were playing a piano, but then your mother said, don't waste your time, go and get a real job. And that became a condition that blocked you from being you, from fulfilling yourself. So you have to reevaluate what you're looking for, what you're searching for. What images are you holding in your mind and you're trying to match into your current reality experience? Because a goal or that which you search for, it's holding an image in front of you and trying to match your experience to that. The law of vibration, resonance. But if you're holding the images of twisted mirrors and you're trying to match your actual reality to those twisted mirrors, it's not gonna work. And that's called struggle, suffering, failure, disillusionment as well, that you were holding these mirrors and illusioned perceptions, conditioning. So it's good to reevaluate, what are you looking for? What are you searching for? Is there a big struggle in trying to get there, to get that? If so, then you might need to reevaluate. Is it necessary to flow against the river, to continuously pedal against your own nature? There are so many people in the world that are swimming against the current. It's like trying to swim upstream of river. Well, good luck. That's gonna be a tough journey. And only because of conditioning. At some point in life, you saw something, somebody said something, and it became a goal to prove that I can do this. Something which is not my nature. What a foolish effort. And of course, everybody tries to prove themselves to their moms and dads. I can be a good housewife. I can be a successful guy. I can build a house myself. Or I can be a good mother to my kids. So I'll get the kids to prove that I can be a good mother. What are you trying to prove? It's another good question. It's a foolish effort, trying to prove conditioned reality. So expectations are also part of the mechanism of attention and focus. your expectations or expectations of others to you, if they're not real, they're not real. If you're expecting something unreal, not in your nature, that's gonna be a struggle. If you're trying to prove someone that you can do this or that, which is not your nature, that's gonna be a struggle. So the best way from the present moment experience in terms of manifested experience is to take everything as a learning experience. As a learning experience, and to see if that helps you to become more of you. Because sometimes, yes, you need to do things that are not fully in your nature. Because the whole society, civilization is not in their own nature. So obviously, nearly everybody has to do something that is not in their nature. But to get from this point into the healthy society, it's a long way. So take it as a learning lesson, as a learning objective. If you are currently in a job that is not totally for you, take it as a learning objective. And of course, plan for the future, the realistic steps that can lead you to your more natural way. So you can also utilize the present moment wisely according to the situation. This is a life advice. A confirmation. In terms of self-realization, you need to check, what are you looking for? What are you up to? So polishing the mirror. To see yourself clearly. And yourself not as an image of yourself. Not as a goal of yourself. Because your real self is this brightness, aware brightness, which is aware of your foolish games, of your efforts. It is aware of your projected goals and struggles. It is that awareness, yes. That bright awareness. So when you clean all those struggles and all those projections and mirrorings, mirrors, mirages, illusions, ultimately you find that you were seeing always everything in your life, including now and forever. You are this bright seeing, bright awareness, always seeing what this person is up to. And the seeing is so much brighter and bigger that any projection fades in that brightness. Any goal put in front fades in the actuality of this brightness, self-brightness, self-seeing. And all of you are already self-seeing. You are aware. And you need to surrender to that awareness. And some of you will say, it's not easy, I can't do this because I'm so used to struggling. Struggling is my habit. How can I surrender to the freedom while I have habit to struggle? So it takes some guts to see yourself clearly, because you truly have to surrender yourself in all possible ways, all your struggles, all your goals, all your ideas, illusions, expectations, to surrender to your own awareness, because that is the ultimate you. If you feel overwhelmed, slow down. If you got too many things on your mind, slow down. Even if you have too big desire that you can't get, slow down. Slow down the desire for enlightenment. Slow down wanting. See that you are aware of the wanting, the brightness, brightly, seeing, wanting. And then you might say, I feel I'm so close, I can nearly touch it. And that's called the height, the height of attention. Yes, relax, relax, relax. Even the intensity is not needed. It's called the middle way. If you're too tensed up and too much in desire, it's already too much. If you're too lazy and say it will come one day by itself, well, you might need to wait and wait and wait and wait until you will see your waiting and your own laziness. And then you will see, yeah, I was so lazy. Now I can see myself. That's why it's middle way. In your awareness, you can always see what you are doing. If you're stressing yourself out, if you're lazying yourself out, you can always see what you are doing. Seeing yourself. Seeing yourself. There is only one constant all the time. Just seeing yourself. Seeing what you're up to. Seeing all the actions that you might be taking to get to that seeing of yourself or to avoid seeing yourself. Because some people, they try to avoid seeing themselves. Maybe in the conscious, there's something saying a little bit of honesty is on the way, or a bit of truth is necessary. So, no, I don't want to see myself. I'm going to live a lie. So some people try to avoid seeing themselves. Honesty is not easy. Truth is not easy. Some people are people of action, so they say, right, what shall I do next? In your seeing of yourself, you want to make things right, isn't it? Fix the whole world until you fix yourself. One more time, slow down. Seeing yourself is simple. And then you might notice the complications of the mind, and that's okay. And yes, you do need to witness the complications of the mind because they're functioning and somehow they're intertwined. For some reason, you need them. If you will be honest with yourself, you will say, I do need a little bit of fear, or I do need a little bit of ego, or I do need a little bit of struggle. For some reason, you keep it. For some reason, you need a bit of complication. Because self-seeing, simple seeing, it's a bit too simple. So you might prefer a bit of complication, a bit of struggle, a bit of effort. Maybe if you get something, you will say, I got it too easy. I didn't sweat for it. So the simple seeing might be too simple for you. Then I will say enlightenment is too simple for you. You need some complications of your mind. If you want to prove yourself, if you want to struggle or suffer to show and, again, prove yourself, that's your way. It means enlightenment is too simple for you. So for some reason you need that which you are holding. For some reason. Maybe you got used to it. Maybe it became a habit. Maybe you got conditioned by someone. And the simplicity of your own awareness is so simple. It's here, of course. You are aware. Yes, but what does it mean? Complications. The meanings are complicated. I need to understand more. Yes. Let's read some philosophical books until you will find the simplicity of it. Maybe you like to be convinced how simple awareness is until you believe that it is simple. Maybe the conditioned sayings told you some time ago that it's too good to be true, like that's a really bad conditioning. It's too good to be true. That comes from a place of complication. So then you say, I will not believe until I will suffer enough and struggle enough to achieve my happiness as a hero and to realize the simplicity of present moment awareness. That's why life is called Leela, a play of life. There is a name for all these troubles. It's called play, a play of life. Just like a good movie, it needs to have some drama. If you watch a movie all about the happy ever after, that's not exciting. If there is a murder, something got stolen, something betrayed someone, some good drama, it's necessary to see all the twists and plots and secrets. To learn more about life. Maybe better learn more about awareness. So eventually, it is polishing a mirror. And you polish it so clean until you recognize that you are standing right here and you can even touch yourself. And that is the bright awareness right here.
I feel like maybe the past few days I've been avoiding trying to find my true self. And I'm very aware of it, that it's happening. But for some reason, I just still ignore it. And I like look away and I busy myself. It's like, oh, I'm too busy to meditate, or I'm too busy to do yoga. So maybe like when I'm aware of that and I still turn my face or turn my eye, how can I like overcome this
Yes,
avoidance?
yes. That's a very precise question. How can I overcome my avoidance? Yes. Avoidance is another mechanism. It's another play. And as long as you are noticing yourself avoiding sometimes, try to be okay with that too. So don't resist the avoidance, because avoidance is avoidance. If you resist it, then it persists. If you're noticing, oh, today I would like, can't do this or should avoid it, but it's if it's in your awareness, like, and I'm sure it is because I can see that. So in this case, the way to transcend avoidance is to notice avoidance and to be okay with it. And that will overcome the mechanism of avoidance. Because you're trying to implement that counter mechanism, which is action. Avoidance says I shouldn't do it, and the other part of you says I should do it. And I'm saying go beyond it. Observe the action of avoidance and be okay with it. And that's how you can go beyond it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one, yes. Yes, this is why the awareness, the simple awareness is so simple, but the mechanisms of all the patterns, they're a bit complicated, yes. And therefore, you always need to find a way to return to awareness, to stabilize in that seeing. So to always navigate through those mechanisms coming out, playing out, back into the simple seeing, self-seeing.
In my case, it's kind of a pendulum. I keep swinging from one direction to another.
Mm-hmm.
So like one moment I'm trying and trying, and I'm almost there, almost broke free from all the conditioning. And then I realized that I didn't, and I fall into this apathy, giving up, boredom. So just swinging through and fro. It's
Mm.
driving me crazy sometimes.
Yeah, yes.
So what would your advice be on this?
Mm. Yeah, that's another good one, yes. Even the fact that you are noticing the swing and the patterns is already a sign of a strength of the awareness. Because you're saying I already can see myself. I'm just in this game, I'm just swinging. Sometimes I'm nearly there, it's nearly done, and then boom, back down. But in all of this, you have awareness that that's what's happening. That's what comes. And the next time it comes, you can say, well, maybe I can be a little bit more relaxed about it. Because it's not about climbing a mountain and trying to stay on top of it in the midst of a storm and then getting splashed down the mountain. Maybe you can be more relaxed about climbing the mountain. Maybe it's even not about climbing the mountain. Maybe it's not even about this journey, because the journey leads back into awareness. So that is a general view. And then, of course, there are arising particularities. Certain patterns arise. And the mere observation of these patterns, like a pattern of avoidance, a mere observation of that patterns and being okay with that pattern is already a part of transcendence of that pattern. Because when your consciousness awareness becomes brighter, you start seeing more, and then you start being not okay with certain parts of yourself. And when you are not okay with certain parts of yourself, be aware of resistances, possible resistances. But the mere fact that you are aware and you can notice and see, it's already a part of transcendence. So that is called the isness of what is. And you are noticing, you're aware of what happens. And even as a word of wisdom, from the wisdom department, saying that if you do the same thing 20 times, well, you must learn something from it.
But it feels that I'm not moving forward, and it feels that if I accept these, I notice myself seeing, but I say, okay, I am seeing, but if I just see and don't do anything, nothing will change. I won't move forward.
Yes, but then it's about the patterns, how to overcome specific patterns. Because you gave a broad example, I noticed myself doing so much and then rolling down. It doesn't say anything specific about the patterns that you're working through. So awareness is growing. That's number one. If we are more specific, seeing avoidance, being okay with it, is overcoming the avoidance. And in your case, there might be some wishes, or you can say a desire, a wish, that I would like to achieve something like that or be like that. And that could be a reflection as well. What are you truly seeking for? What are you truly looking for? What image are you holding and trying to get to? And maybe surrendering could be a way out. Maybe allowing yourself not to do something can be a way out. Maybe allowing yourself To have an issue can be a way out. Maybe you see an issue and you don't want to allow yourself to have the issue that you already have. And that's where the struggle is. And maybe if you start loving your issues, then you will go beyond them. If you're hating your issues, then that's a struggle. If you're loving your issues, that's a definite change.
I'll try that. That's definite, because I'm afraid that if I love my issues, they will stay issues, you know, and I don't want them anymore.
So that's a resistance, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, so love your issues. People try to avoid the problems, their issues. If you will say, I love my problems, you know, but it comes up with that higher consciousness. Because of course, all of you are already in a higher consciousness. And that is one way to go beyond them, to love your problems, love your issues. Even to love your life circumstance. You say, oh, what a bad life circumstance right now is, but I love it. Because it's an experience. It enriches your present now. It's happening right now. The universe did not make any mistakes of the now. And you say, well, this sucks, you know. But I love it. It's life. And I accept life. And that's how it is. And if you come into loving relationship with the things that suck, you know, that are not so, you know, preferable and pleasant, you will see that that can be a change. So we need to be very creative at how to unhook the mind. And sometimes loving your problems is the way to unhook them. Because resistance is a problem. If you accept even the resistance, I'm so resistant right now, but I love it. And I can just burn myself out and tomorrow I'll be fresh.